A shocking murder capturing just how dangerous liberals have made America's cities. Tech titan Bob Lee stabbed multiple times to death while walking around one of San Francisco's most expensive neighborhoods in Nancy Pelosi's district. Lee told friends that the city was deteriorating into a cesspool and had moved to Miami but was back for a business trip. After being stabbed twice in the chest, he staggered through the streets and tried to get help from a passing car, but it drove away. Police have yet to make an arrest, and a cop association's blasting the city. Listen.
We need to change it around because perception is reality in San Francisco, that you could commit a crime and basically go through a revolving door in our criminal justice system and be out.
Elon Musk's responding to the shocking murder, quote, "Many people I know have been severely assaulted. Violent crime in San Francisco is horrific, and even if attackers are caught, they're often released immediately. Is the city taking stronger action to incarcerate repeat violent offenders?" At Brooke Jenkins, that's the DA there, Judge. I mean, we always ask the same question. What is it going to take for the city to get things under control? Is this it?
They say that this is a tipping point. Everyone says that I've spoken to in California says that this is something that has hit us hard. But let's try to figure out how we got here. You've got woke California, woke San Francisco, Nancy Pelosi, Chesa Boudin, who didn't believe in locking up criminals. He believed in letting them go free. And then Mayor London Breed, who cut, I believe it's $120 million out of the police budget. And the police said, if you do so, it will take longer for us to respond to emergencies. Ergo, the 6 minutes it took to respond to Bob Lee as he lay there begging people to help him. You know, London Breed now says she wants to refund the police after she defunded them, as if any of them had a half a brain in defunding them in the first place. But they've got a lot more to do. You've got to make sure that the people who are being released over and over again are kept in. And until someone defines social justice, I still don't know what it is. To me, I think it means you've got to let criminals out and let victims be subjected to their continuing assault and anarchy. But San Francisco, one of the most beautiful cities in the country, the Tenderloin District is now a place where you fornicate, you defecate, you do drugs out in the open, and you live out your mental illness. The people in charge of that city need to be thrown out. I like the new DA. I do like the new DA. I think she's going to make a difference. And but I'm confident that unless they decide to, you know, put the blame where it belongs on the criminal and stop with this social justice nonsense, it's never going to end. And this poor guy, he contributed, Bobby Lee, so much to society, but that society did nothing for him as he showed his injuries to a car that was idling and then begged the police to come and get him.
Horrible, and it's also on the heels of the vicious attack on Paul Pelosi. That perp should never have even been in this country. He's from Canada, Jessica.
Sorry, I was trying to get to where you were, and now I remember that he was from that very dangerous country up above.
Pretty
Canada.
Dangerous if you ask Paul.
I totally agree, and once that tape came out, everybody was on the absolute same page about what happened to Paul Pelosi and what an incredible injustice went on and how dangerous it was and all of that. I agree with what the judge has said. The new DA, I thought her response was spot on about this. She's been declarative. She was replacing someone who was hounded out of office by the people who put him in there. I mean, it was a coalition of Asian Americans who were sick of being attacked on the streets. And they had been behind Chesa Boudin originally. They were an incredibly pivotal constituency in Democratic politics in San Francisco, and they said enough is enough with this. It's so sad to me. I've spent a ton of time in San Francisco. It was my father's favorite city. My husband used to live there. We went twice during the pandemic. Completely changed, right? Somewhere where you wouldn't even think about as a city person that you would be raising a family. It's an interesting question now, and we said the same thing after. Remember, there was a guy who worked at Goldman Sachs who was murdered on the subway going to brunch one Saturday. Is this going to be different because now the big banks aren't, right? This is an elite where this happened, and that's certainly the case here with Bob Lee, someone who's a tech founder. San Francisco doesn't exist without tech founders, right? That they bankrolled the entire city, and I know he had already gone to Miami. So does this change at a faster pace? because it's not a nameless person. I don't know. We had an Olympian who got smashed in the face in Los Angeles, right? And nothing seemed to change from that. But I really hope something does, because these American cities are worth saving from this. They're beautiful and they're important, and it's just a terrible tragedy. How
does Nancy Pelosi always escape accountability? I mean, you have mayors and DAs who come and go, but Nancy's represented San Francisco forever. And she never says anything when these things happen.
But it's the same here. Like, if you think about Chuck Schumer, when does he comment about crime in New York City? I mean, that you never. And AOC, remember when all the women were being victimized and the women being thrown in front of the subway? She never said anything, and so neither did Kirsten Gillibrand, right? So there is something about them being able to say, "Well, I'm in Washington, so I don't have any responsibility there." Fine. It is sad that even after going through the recall and getting Chesa Boudin out of San Francisco, that the DA, as good as she might be, she's in this deep hole, and she doesn't have enough resources. And the police are demoralized, as you heard Tracy McCray say. And then this is happening in all of these other cities as well. In Washington, D.C., over the weekend, there was this horrible crime of a tourist who was there, gets followed into her hotel, brutally beaten, attacked, horrible, and stabbed. And then you look at the guy's rap sheet, 1,000,000 miles long. And so I don't know what sort of circuit breaker the country needs in order to reset, or who it could be to lead us out. But you would think that something like this would let people figure out that our cities are in a free fall, and that is dangerous. I agree with Jessica.
When they do find this perp, I'm sure he's got a rap sheet a mile long, Will Cain.
I'm sure that to be the case. You know, you want to be optimistic, and I think New York City under Rudy Giuliani offers you the ray of hope that these cities can be safe. But then, you know, real time makes you a pessimist, because it's not just San Francisco, to your point. Chicago just ousted Lori Lightfoot and brings in Brandon Johnson, which is going to be, if not more of the same, more extreme of a similar type. And so, you know, and this is the same city that passed $5 million in reparations for people, one of the qualifications of which was if you're a descendant of the war on drugs, anyone who's been incarcerated for the war on drugs. There's nothing of hope to offer you there in San Francisco. And to me, the most depressing part of this is the note in the story that he approaches a white Toyota Camry and lifts his shirt up to show the stab wound, and the car drives away. That's not just the decay of city leadership, that's now the decay of your populace as well.
What would you have done?
Absolutely helped that individual. Absolutely rolled my window, got out. What's wrong with you? And you know what, Jesse? That doesn't make me special. That makes me normal in most of the country. I don't live in San Francisco. I live in Texas, and let me promise you, I would be right down the middle of the course. That's par for the course.
All right. You are normal, and you're special. Thank you very much, Will Cain.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.